Have you ever wondered what it takes to keep your legs strong and steady, even at 94? As we age, leg strength isn't just about staying mobile. It's about holding on to your independence and living life on your own terms. Too often, we notice our legs weakening, turning simple tasks like climbing stairs into daunting challenges. But what if there's a natural way to keep your legs powerful? Today, we're diving into 6 essential vitamins to transform your mobility. Stick with me, because that last nutrient is the secret most people completely overlook for vitality. Section number 1. Vitamin D, the foundation of strength. Many of my patients come into the office describing a very specific feeling. They call it the heavy leg syndrome. It is that frustrating sensation where your legs feel like they are made of lead or perhaps glued to the floor when you try to stand up from your favorite armchair. You might feel a sudden wave of weakness when you try to step off a curb or walk up the porch stairs. This is not just a sign that you're getting older. It is often the first cry for help from a body starved of vitamin D. As a doctor, I look at vitamin D as much more than just a vitamin. It actually acts like a hormone that tells your gut exactly how to absorb calcium. Without it, the calcium you take in simply passes through you. Your bones become thin and brittle. Even worse, your muscle fibers begin to shrink. When your muscles do not have enough vitamin D, they cannot contract with the power they once had. They lose their snap. This creates a dangerous cycle of instability that leads to a fear of falling. Why does this become so toxic and difficult as we age? The answer lies in your skin. When we were younger, our skin was like a high-efficiency factory. Just a few minutes of backyard sunshine would produce all the vitamin D we needed. But after the age of 60, the skin becomes thinner. It loses its ability to convert sunlight into that vital nutrient. If you live in a place like Ohio, Pennsylvania, or Washington, where the winters are long and gray, your factory has essentially shut down for the season. Your body cannot produce what it needs, and your absorption from regular food is often too low to make up the difference. You might recognize these symptoms in your own life. Perhaps you feel a dull ache in your hips. Maybe your thighs feel shaky when you carry a bag of groceries. In the medical community, we have seen clear evidence that low levels of this nutrient are directly linked to hip fractures and a loss of muscle coordination. Scientific research from leading institutions shows that seniors who maintain healthy levels are significantly less likely to suffer a life-changing fall. I want you to take a constructive action today. Please check your latest blood work or ask your physician for a simple vitamin D test. Do not guess, know your numbers. I want you to start prioritizing this foundation of strength. The best way to fix this is through nature. I always recommend spending 15 minutes on your porch in the morning sun when possible. However, the real secret is found in a traditional remedy. 1 tablespoon of high-quality cod liver oil is like a golden elixir for your legs. It provides a potent, natural dose that your body recognizes and uses immediately. You can also find it in sockeye salmon and pasture-raised eggs. Take the story of my friend Arthur. He is 94 years old and still walks to his mailbox every single morning. A few years ago, he started feeling wobbly. He told me he felt like he was walking on stilts. We added that daily tablespoon of cod liver oil and ensured he sat in the sun while reading his morning paper. Within a month, he told me the lead had melted out of his legs. He felt steady again. So, let us make a plan. Start today by adding that healthy dose of sunshine or a clean supplement to your routine. If you enjoy your morning walks and want to keep them going, please comment sunshine in the section below. Section number 2. Vitamin B12, the nerve MVP. Now let us talk about a different kind of struggle. Have you ever felt a strange tingling in your feet? Some people describe it as pins and needles. Others tell me it feels like they are walking on marshmallows or that their legs have simply gone numb. This is not a bone issue. This is a communication issue. This is your nervous system failing to send the right signals to your muscles. This is the classic sign of a vitamin B12 deficiency. Vitamin B12 is the MVP because it protects the myelin sheath. Think of this sheath as the insulation on an electric wire. If the insulation frays, the spark does not reach the end of the wire. In your body, that means the message from your brain to lift your foot gets garbled. You might find yourself shuffling or tripping over the edge of a rug. B12 also helps create the red blood cells that carry fresh oxygen to your leg muscles. Without enough oxygen, your muscles tire out before you even reach the end of the block. The reason this becomes so essential for us is quite simple. As we cross the bridge into our 60s and 70s, our stomachs change. We produce less stomach acid. We lose a special protein called intrinsic factor. Without these two things, your body cannot unlock B12 from a piece of steak or a chicken breast. You could be eating the best diet in the world and still be starving for this nutrient because your digestive system simply cannot grab it. The symptoms are very relatable and often ignored. You might feel a bit of brain fog along with your unsteady gait. You might feel exhausted even after a full night of sleep. Some people think they are developing permanent nerve damage when, in reality, their nerves are just hungry. Clinical studies have proven that correcting a B12 deficiency can restore balance and prevent permanent damage to the spinal cord and peripheral nerves. My corrective action for you is to stop relying solely on heavy meats for this nutrient if you are feeling these symptoms. Instead, let us look at a much easier solution. 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast. It has a wonderful, nutty flavor that many of my patients love. It is often fortified with B12 in a form that is very easy for your body to absorb, even if your stomach acid is low. You can sprinkle it over your popcorn, stir it into your vegetable soup, or mix it into your morning grits. I remember a patient named Mary. She was a vibrant woman in her late 70s who loved to garden. She came to me quite upset because she started losing her balance while pruning her roses. She felt a buzzing sensation in her calves. After we discovered her B12 levels were bottoming out, we started her on a simple daily habit of nutritional yeast and a high-quality sublingual drop. She was amazed at how quickly the static on her phone line cleared up. The tingling stopped, and her stride became long and confident once again. If you want to keep your balance sharp and your nerves healthy, this is your sign to take action. If you are ready to walk with a steady heart and steady feet, please comment steady in the comments below. Section number 3, Vitamin C, the joint fixer. Have you ever rolled out of bed in the morning and felt like your knees were made of rusty hinges? You might hear a little pop or a crack every time you take a step toward the kitchen for your first cup of tea. It is a common frustration for many of my neighbors and patients. They often think that these creaky joints are just a permanent part of getting older. But I want to tell you that your joints do not have to sound like an old screen door in a windstorm. That popping and grinding is often a signal that the cushioning in your legs is drying out. The science behind this is quite fascinating. Vitamin C is much more than just a remedy for the common cold. It is actually the primary fuel for the production of collagen. I like to think of collagen as the natural glue of the human body. It is the tough and flexible protein that builds your tendons, your ligaments, and that smooth cartilage that pads your knee joints. When you have plenty of vitamin C, your body can constantly repair the wear and tear that happens just from walking around the block or gardening in the backyard. As we reach our 60s and 70s, our internal collagen factory begins to slow down its production. This is exactly why your joints might feel stiffer than they did 20 years ago. Why it becomes so essential now is because your body cannot store vitamin C for very long. If you are not getting a fresh supply every single day, your body begins to rob collagen from your joints to use it for other vital functions. This leads to that feeling of bone-on-bone friction. It makes arthritis feel much more painful because the body simply lacks the materials to fix the damage. I want you to look for the relatable symptoms in your own morning routine. Do your knees feel tight for the first 20 minutes after you wake up? Do you find yourself reaching for the railing more often when you go down the basement stairs? These are not just signs of wear. They are signs of a repair system that has run out of supplies. Scientific studies have shown that high levels of this antioxidant can significantly reduce inflammation in the joints. Research from major medical journals confirms that seniors with a high intake of vitamin C have a much lower risk of developing severe joint degradation. I am asking you to take a constructive action today. Stop accepting the pain as inevitable. Please start a new morning ritual. Instead of just a glass of plain water, I want you to try adding 1 tablespoon of acerola cherry powder to a glass of warm water. This tiny fruit is one of the most concentrated sources of natural vitamin C on the planet. It is much more powerful than a standard grocery store orange. By drinking this in the morning, you are giving your joints the brio and the lubrication they need to glide smoothly all day long. I remember a patient of mine named Robert. He was a retired mail carrier who loved to walk his dog, Buster, every afternoon. Robert told me he was ready to give up his walks because his knees felt like they were filled with sand. We started him on this simple acerola cherry habit. After about 3 weeks, Robert came back to my office with a big smile. He said the rusty hinges had finally been greased. He was back on the trail with Buster, walking 2 miles a day without that nagging ache. It was a simple fix that gave him his freedom back. Section number 4, Vitamin K2, the traffic cop. This next nutrient is perhaps the most misunderstood part of bone health. Many of you are very diligent about taking your calcium supplements or drinking your milk to keep your bones strong. However, there is a hidden danger that many people do not realize. If you take calcium without vitamin K2, that calcium can get lost in your body. It is like a traveler without a map. Instead of going into your bones to make them strong, the calcium can end up in your heart valves or your arteries. This causes your blood vessels to become stiff and hard, which is a major risk for your cardiovascular health. This is why I call vitamin K2 the traffic cop of the body. Its only job is to stand at the intersection of your bloodstream and direct the calcium exactly where it belongs. It catches the calcium and locks it into your bone matrix. This keeps your skeletal foundation solid and your legs steady. At the same time, it clears the calcium out of your soft tissues and joints. If your joints feel stiff and crunchy, it might actually be because calcium is building up in the wrong place. The core reason why this is so problematic for us in the United States is our modern diet. Vitamin K2 is mostly found in fermented foods like natto or specific types of aged cheeses that are not very common on the American dinner table. As we age, our bones naturally want to release calcium into the blood. Without the traffic cop to push it back in, our bones become like Swiss cheese, full of tiny holes and very easy to break. This is why a simple trip on a rug can turn into a hip fracture that changes everything. I want to tell you about my patient, Mary. Mary was a very active grandmother who was terrified of osteoporosis. She was taking high doses of calcium every day, but her bone scans were not getting any better. Even worse, she started complaining of stiff, achy legs and a heavy feeling in her chest. When we looked closer, we realized the calcium was settling in her arteries instead of her legs. We made a simple change. We told her to stop the high-dose isolated calcium and instead start using 1 tablespoon of high-quality grass-fed butter or ghee every day. Grass-fed butter is a wonderful natural source of vitamin K2. Because it is a fat, it helps your body absorb the vitamin perfectly. I told Mary to melt that golden butter over her steamed broccoli and her morning toast. Within a few months, her strength returned. Her legs felt lighter and more responsive because her arteries were becoming flexible again. Her next bone scan showed that the calcium was finally reaching its destination. My corrective action for you is to stop relying on cheap, isolated calcium pills that do not have the proper cofactors. Instead, look at the label of your supplements and make sure K2 is listed. But even better, go to your local market and find some pasture-raised, grass-fed butter. It is a delicious and simple way to protect your heart and your bones at the same time. If you want to keep your posture upright and your legs as sturdy as a bridge, please make this small change. Your body will thank you for the guidance. Section number 5, Magnesium, the cramp miracle. Have you ever been sound asleep, dreaming peacefully, only to be jolted awake by a sudden, agonizing pain in your calf? It feels like your muscle is being twisted into a tight knot by an invisible hand. Most of us call this a Charlie horse. You find yourself hopping out of bed, grimacing, and trying to rub the tension out of your leg while your heart is still racing from the shock. For many of my friends and patients, these nighttime cramps are not just a rare nuisance. They are a nightly dread that steals their rest and leaves their legs feeling sore and weak the entire next morning. The medical reason behind this agony is often quite simple. Magnesium is what we call the relaxation mineral. While calcium helps your muscles contract so you can move, magnesium is the signal that tells those muscles to let go and relax. When your body is low on magnesium, your muscles stay in a state of perpetual tension. They become twitchy and overactive. Without that relaxation signal, your muscles eventually lock up into a painful spasm because they simply do not know how to turn off. The reason this becomes such a critical issue as we get older is due to a hidden conflict in our medicine cabinets. Many seniors are prescribed diuretics to help with blood pressure or heart health. While these medications are important, they also act like a drain for your minerals. They flush magnesium out of your system through your kidneys before your muscles ever have a chance to use it. At the same time, our aging digestive systems become less efficient at pulling magnesium from the salads and grains we eat. This creates a perfect storm where your legs are working harder but have less of the mineral they need to stay calm. You might notice more subtle signs before a full cramp hits. Do your legs feel restless or fidgety when you sit down to watch the evening news? Do you notice a little twitch in your eyelid or a slight tremor in your hands? These are the whispers of a magnesium deficiency. In the clinical world, we have seen that maintaining proper magnesium levels is linked to better cardiovascular health and lower levels of cortisol, which is our primary stress hormone. Scientific research confirms that seniors who supplement with magnesium experience significantly fewer muscle spasms and enjoy a much deeper, more restorative sleep. I want you to take a constructive action starting tonight. Please stop ignoring those restless legs and midnight pains. Do not just accept them as a part of being 70 or 80 years old. It is time to rebuild your mineral reserves. The best solution is found right in your pantry. While leafy greens like spinach are wonderful, they often do not provide enough for a body that is running low. I want you to start a very simple daily habit. Eat 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seeds every single day. These tiny seeds are one of nature's most potent pharmacies for magnesium. They are packed with the exact nutrients your muscles are starving for. You can toss them onto your oatmeal, sprinkle them over a salad, or just eat them as a crunchy snack while you read. Take my patient Harold as an example. Harold was a retired carpenter who loved to stay active, but he was losing sleep because of severe leg cramps. He told me he was afraid to go to sleep because he knew the pain was coming. We looked at his diet and realized his blood pressure medication was draining his magnesium. We started him on the pumpkin seed habit and a gentle magnesium soak for his feet. Within 10 days, Harold told me the Charlie horses had galloped away. He was sleeping through the night for the first time in years, and his legs felt light and refreshed when he stepped out of bed each morning. 1 tablespoon of seeds changed his entire quality of life. Section number 6, Vitamin E, the circulation champion. Now we move to our final nutrient, which is the secret to warmth and endurance in your legs. Do your feet always feel like blocks of ice, even when you are wearing thick wool socks? Do you notice that your ankles and calves look puffy or swollen after you have been sitting in your favorite chair for an hour? Or perhaps you feel a heavy, dull ache in your thighs after walking just a short distance. This is often a sign that your circulation has become sluggish. It is as if the highway system in your legs has developed a traffic jam and the fresh, oxygen-rich blood is struggling to reach your muscles. Vitamin E is our circulation superstar. It acts as a powerful antioxidant that protects the walls of your blood vessels from damage. Think of it as a protective coating for your arteries. It also helps to prevent your blood from becoming too sticky or thick, which allows it to flow smoothly like a clear mountain stream. When your blood is flowing freely, it carries warmth and nutrients to every inch of your legs. This keeps your muscles energized and prevents that heavy, tired feeling that makes walking feel like a chore. As we journey through our golden years, our arteries naturally begin to lose some of their elasticity. They can become a bit more rigid, which makes it harder for the heart to pump blood all the way down to the toes. Vitamin E is so essential now because it helps maintain that youthful flexibility in your blood vessels. Without it, the oxidative stress of daily life can cause small amounts of inflammation that narrow the passages for your blood flow. This is why you might feel tingling or numbness, as if your legs are constantly falling asleep. These symptoms are very relatable for many of my neighbors who find themselves resting more often than they used to. Do you have to stop and catch your breath because your legs feel like they are trudging through deep mud? This is not always a lung issue. Often, it is a delivery issue. Scientific studies from renowned medical centers have shown that vitamin E can significantly improve walking distance in people with poor circulation. Research confirms that this vitamin helps reduce the risk of blood clots and keeps the peripheral vascular system working at its best. My call to action for you is to stop letting cold feet and heavy legs limit your world. If you have been feeling sluggish, it is time to give your circulation a boost. The most effective way to do this naturally is with a very specific oil. I want you to start using 1 tablespoon of wheat germ oil every day. This golden oil is the richest natural source of vitamin E available. It is far superior to synthetic pills because it contains the full spectrum of nutrients that nature intended. You can drizzle it over your morning toast, stir it into your yogurt, or even take it straight. It is a simple, healthy fat that fuels your blood vessels and gives your legs a renewed sense of life. Think about the story of James. James used to be an avid walker, but he started noticing that his legs would tire out after only 100 yards. He told me his legs felt cold and heavy, and he had to sit on a park bench every few minutes just to keep going. We discovered his circulation was lacking, so we introduced him to the wheat germ oil habit. James started taking 1 tablespoon every morning with his breakfast. After a few weeks, he called me with excitement in his voice. He had walked a full mile without stopping once. His legs felt warm, his ankles were no longer swollen, and he felt like he had rediscovered a youthful bounce in his step. If this information about circulation and warmth is new to you, or if you have been struggling with cold legs, please comment number 6 in the section below. I want to know that you are ready to get your blood flowing and your legs moving again. It is never too late to nourish your body and reclaim the strength that belongs to you. My dear friends, your legs are your freedom. By adding these 6 simple vitamins, D, B12, C, K2, magnesium, and E, you are giving your body the essential tools to stay steady and strong. Remember, it is the small, daily habits that lead to the biggest changes. I want to see you thriving, not just getting by. Please comment below with the one vitamin you will start today. Like this video, join our community, and share this hope with loved ones. Stay steady, stay healthy,